Welcome to the Voice of Reason Sports Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the show, leave a comment, and click that like button. Let's go to week 18 and make our predictions. So the Saturday games, we have the Raiders at home against the Chiefs. The Chiefs are 7.5-point road favorites. I'm going with the Chiefs. What about you, Phil?
Chiefs. Even though I think they might be resting players. So
Yeah.
Chiefs.
Don,
I go Chiefs.
you want Chiefs? Yeah, I think the Raiders have already made their plans for Cancun.
What you think about this Derek Carr situation?
Too little, too late. They should have been benched him.
Really?
I mean, here we go. We got another player. We got years of data on him.
Whoa, wait a minute. He had a good year last year, bro.
He had a great year, and not only that, he is solely responsible for bringing players onto a team that nobody wanted to join.
Yeah. And they don't want to play him because they don't want to pay a $40 million injury bonus. That's why they benched him. And that's why he's upset. This ain't about he can't play. This is about money.
Well, it may be. It may be. But when you're 6-10, you're
That ain't
not
his
earning
fault.
your. Yeah,
They're last in the league in defense. They can't stop a fly.
He has played bad too.
But he is solely responsible for Adams coming over. Adams came over there to play with him.
And they should be producing.
Are you telling me him and the one receiver should be leading that team when you got a division with the Chargers and the Chiefs?
Okay. And if you're supposed to be one of the top quarterbacks, like the Chargers and the Chiefs have, with a top flight receiver, you should be competitive.
They got a terrible defense, Marvin. They're last in the league in defense in every category.
Okay. I've seen the Chiefs last in the league in defense.
That is true too.
They got a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah. And Derek Carr is being paid like one. So to me, it is time to move on. Derek Carr has been there for a long time.
But wait a minute. You said a couple of weeks ago that team is quit on their coach. You said it was coaching at first. He was like, McDaniel stinks. The defense stinks. We got to give a little bit of credit to Derek Carr. Now you didn't flip the switch on me. Now you didn't flip the.
Now you putting words in my mouth. Now you putting words in my mouth.
On me. You didn't flip the switch on me now.
I didn't say nothing about Derek Carr, poor Derek Carr or anything like that. Now, I did say that they should have kept the coach from last year, the interim coach. I thought he deserved that job. And Josh McDaniel has shown the history of not, coaching up his teams as a head coach. So
he's not a good coach.
He's not a good coach. But look, let's move on.
Okay.
Next slide. We're talking about a team that's going home. There's nothing to talk about with the Raiders. All right. Next, we got This is going to be a game. The Jaguars at home against the Titans. The Jags are 6.5-point home favorites. I'm excited about this game, but I'm really not, because the Titans have been playing poorly. They've lost 6 games in a row. We're talking about a team that was once 7-3, now 7-9, and they're down to a third-string quarterback because they don't believe in the rookie quarterback that got out of Liberty. Maybe there was some question. There was some questions about him coming out in the competition level, and maybe there's some proof of that. But I hope that maybe the kids just need some more seasoning, and he'll be ready by next year. But right now, they're going with a third-string quarterback. That's how bad it's got. So I'm going with the Jags on this. I think there's something happening in Jacksonville. Their luck is still going. Who you got, Phil?
I got the Jags too, but I do think this may be a sneak where they may lay an egg potentially. But I'm going to take the Jags here.
Okay, Don.
I'm going with the Jags. Like I said before, they going in the wrong direction.
Yeah. I think they're done. Changing quarterbacks, losing Tannehill. I wonder if Tannehill is going to be on the market next year.
They got a 6-game losing streak.
They're probably going to cut him.
Yeah. He can come to New Orleans too. Anyway, I'll take anybody's quarterback. Let Lamar Jackson go. Anyway.
He probably will.
Speaking of Lamar Jackson, the Bengals are at home This is a Sunday game. Bengals at home against the Ravens. I'm not sure what the point differential is here because it's
It
not
doesn't matter.
listed.
Doesn't
So,
matter.
Don, I know this game was moved to Sunday night, right?
That's correct.
Okay, yeah, because it still says to be determined.
Yeah.
But I think it's moved to Sunday night, and that's probably why they haven't given a point spread on it. All right. Anyway, I'm going with the Bengals. You know, I don't think Lamar's going to play. I think they're shutting him down to the playoffs, and Ravens
I
aren't
don't think he'll
motivated.
play in the playoffs. I don't think he'll play in the playoffs.
Well, who you taking?
We'll see about that.
We'll let Don answer that when he gets to that point. Who you taking?
I'm taking the Bengals here, as I have taken for the past 6 weeks, and you guys laughed at me when I put the Bengals in the #1 spot, and look where they're at right now.
So you know what? I'm gonna let you go first, and I'm gonna go second because you're just picking everything that I pick. I see how you roll in here. All right, let's go to Don. He's patiently waiting.
So both of y'all picks are trash on this one. I'm gonna go with the Ravens, and here's why. I right now, I can almost yes,
I don't
your
appreciate
picks are
that.
trash. When you going against my Ravens, that pick is a trash pick.
I picked the Ravens. I picked the Steelers over the Ravens last week. How much? How trash was that?
You got hate in your heart. Let it
I do.
show.
I
I give
do.
it sunlight and rain, and I'm gonna help it grow.
Because the
You
fact that I'm
know,
not in the playoffs, I got a lot of hate in my heart. Go ahead.
even though this playoff game does not mean much to the Ravens, I mean, right now I think that we're gonna send a message. We're gonna come out there. We're gonna play tough, and we're gonna steal an easy one because we're gonna catch them while they're sleeping. And yes, and we're going to show them some things that they're going to have to think about because Lamar's coming back, and when you hear the whistling, when you hear that whistle, chill goes down defensive coordinator's spine. Say what you want.
So let me ask you this: is Lamar playing?
I just told you when Lamar comes back for the playoffs, and you hear the whistle.
Okay, all right, for the playoffs.
So
Okay, I
you're
missed that part.
comfortable. You're comfortable with him, and he hasn't played in 4 weeks. Can we come in and win a playoff
You
game?
gonna you gonna ask me about my family member in live television? I mean, live like this? Yes, of course. Yes, of
All
course.
right.
How
Well,
disrespectful? How disrespectful?
okay.
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 All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see. All right. Next slide. Next, we have the Falcons at home against the Bucks. The Falcons are 4.5-point home favorites. You know what? I didn't even realize the Falcons were home favorites, but I was going with the Falcons. I thought this would be an upset, but not really. The Falcons are expected to win because I think Bucks aren't motivated. They already won the division. No reason for a terrific time to even play.
That's true.
But yeah, I got the Falcons. Who you got, Phil?
You brought up a good point. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Falcons here.
I'm going with the Bucks. I think Tom's gonna come in there and finish. What you do when you see your enemy drowning, you keep pouring water on them. I think this is a pour the water on your enemy type of game. I think the Falcons need to be put to rest, and I think Tom's gonna do that. And they're gonna practice some plays, and once they got the game under control, they're gonna shut Tom down.
So you think Tom is going to start this game?
Most definitely.
Wow.
Okay.
All right. All right. Next, we have the Bills at home against the Patriots. The Bills are 7.5-point home favorites. I'm going with the Patriots. Here's why: the Patriots desperately need this win to get into the playoffs, and I think they're going to pull it off. I think the Patriots get this win. Phil.
I actually think the Bills need this win. So I'm going to go with the Bills here. I don't think they're resting starters. I think they're going after that #1 seed. So I'm going to go with the Bills here.
I follow suit with the Bills. I think the Patriots, they're in the self-destruction mode. I think, Jones is not ready to take it to the next step, and I think this is going to be the game that proves it.
Okay. All right. Next, we have the Bears at home against the Vikings. The Vikings are 6-point road favorites. So one of the few times I've gone with the Vikings, I'm going with the Vikings here. Who you got, Phil? Or should I even bother asking?
It's no way but up. So I'm going to go with the Vikings here too.
I'm surprised. I thought you would have went with the Bears.
No.
Don.
Fields played terrible last game. I thought this was gonna be a game that he was gonna be able to transition and be able to close out the season strong, but last game he looked terrible, and I think he's gonna look terrible this game. And I think the Vikings, after having that poor showing, I think they're gonna try to get Jefferson to help him break that record. And I'm quite sure he's gonna need at least 200 yards in order to do so.
Hmm. So you got the Vikings.
That's correct.
Okay. Next slide. Colts at home against the Texans. The Colts are 2.5-point home favorites. I'm going with the Colts. Here's why. So I can stop hearing Phil say that the Colts are the worst team in the league, which they have proven that they're not, because they have a better record than the Texans. And even if they lose against the Texans, they still have a better record. They're not the worst team in the league. That's why I'm going with the Colts. Phil, you're going with the Texans, right?
No, well, actually, I'm going to go with the Texans here because I mean, outside of that tie, you
See how
know,
I baited him in?
I actually think the Texans been playing pretty well. They played well last week, so I'm going to choose the Texans here. I think the Colts are just they're exploding.
You think the Texans played well last week?
I mean, a week before last week.
Oh, okay. I was getting ready to say they got blown out last week.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Week before last. I'm
Oh,
going to
okay.
pick the Colts are bad.
Yeah, but I don't think they're that bad.
Oh, they're bad. They're bad.
Okay, because the Jaguars blew out the Texans 31
The
and
Giants,
three.
the Giants blew out the Colts last week.
That's true. Who you got, Don?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Colts. I think they're gonna try to close out the season strong. So I think this is their farewell gift to
Since
Saturday.
Saturday.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Time to move on to Sunday.
Hey, moving back to the studio. There you go.
All right. Next, we got the Dolphins at home against the Jets. This game is considered even. I'm going with the Dolphins. I think the Jets are no longer motivated. I got the Dolphins. Who you got, Phil?
Is Mike White still playing? Is he playing?
I think so. He played last week. I was
This is
disappointed
tough.
with him.
This is tough. I'm actually going to go with the Jets here.
You're
I'm going to go with the
Jets?
Jets. I'm going to go with the Jets one more week. I picked them last week and they disappointed me. I'm going to pick them this week.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a tough pick for me because I don't know who the Dolphins' third string quarterback is.
I think the Dolphins have given up.
Yeah.
I think they're probably giving up.
I feel bad for Tyreek Hill because he was having such a fantastic season. And
I actually think this is the team Tom Brady's going to go to.
I think Tom Brady's retiring, but that's a different subject.
Yeah.
Next slide. Well, Don, who you got?
Right now I'm gonna move with the Jets. I think the Jets have a little bit more stability than the Dolphins. And here's why I say that. At least we know White is gonna go out there. He's gonna try to compete. I don't know who on the Dolphins is going to try to compete. And until you get the ball in Hill's hands 15 yards down the field, he's irrelevant.
So
And
you don't believe in Scholar Thompson
Thompson.
from
who?
Kansas State?
Who?
Exactly. Exactly. Next slide. Yeah. Skyler is starting. So
Skylar Thompson. Okay.
yeah. All right. Next slide. We have the mighty Saints. Yes, sir. At home against the Panthers. The mighty Saints are 3.5-point home favorites. Yes, sir. I'm going with the mighty Saints as long as they give the ball to Taysom Hill at least 10 times. Dumbest statistic out there that they're using. But yes, that's what makes sense to them. Saints. Who you got, Phil?
I'm going with the Panthers here. I like what they've done last couple of weeks, even though they didn't win last week. I'm going to go with the Panthers here.
Don, you going with the Panthers?
So the Panthers got, they don't look strong. I mean, we got two losing teams.
Hey man, hey, watch them out, man.
Two losing
This is a
teams.
family show, man.
Two losing teams. Do we really if we really had to pick blindfolded with a dart against the board,
Wow. The
I would have it landing on the Saints. They found they at least they know what winning feels like. They did, they got a 3-game winning streak. So I'll support you on this one, Marv. This would be your going away gift.
Man, wow. kind of a slap in the face.
Oh man.
You know.
I wonder who's going to host the playoffs now for this podcast. Yeah.
Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on from this one. Yeah,
We can have, we,
I
we can
it's
have
all
Don
good.
host. We can have Don host.
I deserve it. I know I crushed you over the years with the Saints dominating things. So, it's all good. All good. All right. Next slide. We're gonna talk about Don's favorite team, the Steelers, at home against the Browns. The Steelers are 3-point home favorites. I must say, Mike Tomlin has done a fantastic job with this Steelers team this year.
Yeah.
To really, make this team competitive and to get a winning season out of it. Well, if they win this game, it'll be a complete winning season, just not a losing season.
Yeah.
So that's pretty impressive. I'm going with the Steelers. I think the Browns haven't quite figured out their identity. Like once they inserted Deshaun Watson, they kind of started from scratch, still figuring out things. So I'm going with the Steelers. Who you got, Phil?
This is a tough one. Because I do think the Steelers will win this and make the playoffs.
Ooh, you got them making the playoffs.
I got them making the playoffs.
Wow. Don don't like that. He don't want to face them boys again.
I would like to face them if they make the playoffs. However, they're going home.
So you're going with the Browns?
Of course. Of course. Of course. And here's why. The Browns have nothing better to do than to take somebody home with you. That is the ultimate petty move. And I think that's what that guy is going to be.
Tell Big Mouth, Clutch Kenny says
hello. Wow.
Hey, he going to earn it this Sunday.
Clutch Kenny. Clutch Kenny says hello.
Oh, I know he's going to be in the comments if the Steelers win this week. Oh, man.
But if
Steelers
they
versus
don't,
Ravens in the playoffs. Steelers versus Ravens in the playoffs. Oh, my goodness gracious.
Okay.
Playing.
Next slide. We got Dangerous Russ and this mighty Broncos at home against the Chargers.
What a disappointment.
The Chargers are 3-point road favorites here. I'm going with the Chargers. Even though the Broncos put up a decent fight against the Chiefs, but decent is not enough to win. I'm going with the Chargers. Phil?
I'm actually going with the Broncos here because I think the Chargers are going to rest some players. Okay.
All right.
Well, hold on. Let me actually look at the playoffs.
No. What's the problem here?
Okay, so the Chargers are already in the playoffs. So okay, yeah, I'm definitely going with I'm going with the Broncos here.
Okay, I think that team is such a mess. I just don't see them winning. Don?
San Diego Superchargers, San Diego Chargers.
Go Chargers, baby.
Wow. Well, good thing you're just a host on the show and you're not a singer.
Give that man a Grammy.
Yeah, man. Next slide. Eagles, big game. Eagles at home against the Giants. Giants are in the playoffs. I'm not sure if they have anything to fight for in this game, but the Eagles need this to solidify that number 1 seed in the first round bye. So Eagles are a favorite to win this game. They are 14-point home favorites. I think the Eagles are motivated. I think Jalen Hurts is going to play. I'm going with the Eagles. Phil?
I'm going to go with the Eagles here because I think this is who the Eagles are going to play in the playoffs. So I think the Giants are going to rest their players.
So you got the Giants winning in the first round? Or you got the Eagles dropping out of the first seed?
Yeah, the Eagles dropping out of the first seed.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I got the Eagles dropping out of the first seed. The way they've looked recently.
That'd be interesting because in fact, they would have to drop to the 3rd seed in order
And
to
they
play the Giants.
and they will play the
They will play the
So
Giants. So
Cowboys.
okay,
Well, actually, well, I don't think they can. Maybe they can't drop to the second seed. I mean, third seed. Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Maybe they can. Yeah,
yeah,
you're right.
yeah. I don't think they're gonna play the Giants. But anyway,
Oh
Don,
no,
who
but
you
I
got?
forgot about the 49ers. Yeah, it'll be the 49ers, then the Cowboys, then the Eagles.
Yes,
That can happen.
it
That
could
can
happen.
happen.
It could happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Forgot about the 49ers.
Who you got, Don?
Man, I'm going to the Eagles.
You gonna sing a song for us? Fly, Eagles, fly. No.
No. But I can actually tell you that this is going to be interesting because if they do not play, I mean, like you said before, they can't move down, any further. But the fact that them having to win, I think they lost a lot when they lost that top 10 draft pick, and I think they want to reestablish some normalcy when it comes
Mhm.
down to them playing good football going into the playoffs. If they lose
Mhm.
this, they're going to the playoffs with zero momentum, and that's not
Yeah.
good.
You don't want to
Yeah,
back into the playoffs,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Next, we got the 49ers at home against the Cardinals. Yeah, we don't have to spend a lot of time on this one. 49ers are
49ers.
14-point home favorites. I'm going with the
40,
49ers. Phil's going with the
49ers.
49ers.
49ers,
All
49.
right. Yeah. I already knew. Next. All right. I think this is probably going to be a good one. We got the Seahawks at home against the Rams. Seahawks are 6.5-point home favorites. I think the Rams want to play spoiler here, but I don't think it'll be enough. I think Geno's going to come
Oh.
out firing, and their young running back Walker's back.
Oof.
I think they're going to win this game. I got the Seahawks. Phil,
Yeah, Seahawks. I don't trust Baker Mayfield.
yeah, Don,
And I feel the same way. I think Breaker, he's done enough to keep teams interested in him as a backup quarterback. But yeah, he's done.
yeah, I think
Mm.
the Magic's gone.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, he had a good run. It was pretty exciting, but yeah, he kind of fell back down to earth against the Chargers. So, but we'll see. They can play spoiler. All right, next we got the Commanders at home against the Cowboys. The Cowboys are 5.5-point road favorites. The Commanders, I don't know what the coaching staff is doing there. They benched Heineke and went back to Wentz, and Wentz was awful.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going back to Heineke. I don't know if they're just giving up and made their plans for Cancun. I don't really care. I'm going with the Cowboys. Phil.
Yeah, Cowboys. I think Washington's a mess right now.
Yeah, that was foolish. And did you read that Ruben Ron was kind of surprised when he learned that the Commanders were eliminated with the loss? I don't think he really knew. And he kind of gave the impression if he knew that they would be eliminated with that game, he would have started Taylor Heineke. So
They might as well throw out there Sam Howell. Throw the rookie out there and see what he can do.
yeah, I just don't understand why they just didn't keep Heineke in there. I mean,
It's about money, man. They paying Wentz all that money. I mean,
but just think about if they'd have started Heineke from the beginning of the season.
oh
You
yeah,
know, maybe he would have won some of those games that Wentz threw away. Maybe he would have won this game that Wentz threw away, and you would have had a better chance at winning the getting into the playoffs. But you do all of this stuff, man. It just kills me how they make these decisions on who's going to start.
So is his career over?
Who, Heineke
Wentz.
or Wentz? It should be.
This is his third team.
Yeah, no, to me, he's broken.
Yeah.
Mentally. I think he has the physical abilities, but I think he's just broken mentally. And this might be the end of Wentz.
Yeah.
Don.
Cowboys, and I'm not going to even talk about this any longer because I'm not impressed with the Cowboys. A lot of turnovers, but the Commanders ain't even worse shape than they are.
Yeah, I can see the disgust in your face by saying the Cowboys are going to win this game. You seem really irritated about this.
Facts.
And so, if I push this out, the Cowboy fans are going to come talk to you about this.
You know it.
They should. All right. Lastly, the last game on Sunday night. There's no Monday night game because there's a college football championship game. But the Sunday night game is the Packers at home against the Lions. I got,
Tough
well,
game.
the Packers are 4.5-point home favorites. Packers win this game. They're in. I think the Packers are going to do it. They're at home. They know their identity. They are a running football team. Aaron Rodgers, as great as he is, he's a game manager right now, and he needs to stick to that. And I think that the young rookie receiver Watson, I think he's finally got that chemistry with him, and they know who they are. And I think the Packers are going to win this game. I got the Packers. Who you got, Phil?
You know what? I'm gonna go with the Lions here for my bold pick.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the Lions here, and I like what the Lions are doing.
Mm-hmm.
This is a tough one, because I try not to root against Aaron Rodgers, but I'm gonna do it this week.
Okay. Now I'm thinking about this. Packers win this game. That eliminates the Lions and the Seahawks. When I said the Seahawks were motivated to beat the Rams.
Yeah.
And Geno was going to get them in the playoffs, but he can't if the Packers win.
Yeah.
So Packers will win. We got Don.
Packers gonna win, and that wild pick he made, that this is a waste of time, man.
Well, I could do that when I'm the driver's seat. In the driver's seat, I can make those type of moves.
Hey, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you giving me that extra momentum, to get back there.
Well, you're about as done as Carson Wentz and
Wow.
Lamar Jackson, and
why you had to throw Lamar out there, man?
So hey, that tells you he's just talking crazy because he knows that his time at the top is short lived. So he got to say something.
I've been up here 6 weeks, man.
6
I'm like Rihanna and Umbrella.
Once again,
it's gonna be a 7th week.
6 weeks, man. Who's controlling the register, man? His man.
Marvin
Marvin. Wow. Well, look here, guys. Since there's no Monday night game, let's give me your picks on this college football championship game. We got TCU against Georgia. Georgia's number 1. TCU is number 3. I'm going with TCU. I like what I saw.
Wow.
I like how they competed. Georgia started out slow against Ohio State. And Ohio State kind of took their foot off their necks and let them back in that game, and they won it. So I think Georgia is showing some weakness, and I think TCU can surprise them enough. What they're doing offensively with that big physical quarterback and defensively, because they put it on Michigan. So I'm going with TCU. Who are you going with, Phil?
Man, that second half with Georgia and Ohio State, man, I saw the real Georgia stand up, man. That shows a lot of character and moxie, man. That shows a championship team right there. So I'm going with Georgia.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Georgia. Georgia's been here before. I think that the bright lights is gonna be too much for TCU. I think
TCU ain't played no physical team like this ever.
And I think this is gonna be a wake up call. And I think TCU is very diverse. They have a unique defense the defensive scheme that they play. But I think the second half adjustments is going to get them. And I think Georgia has a better coaching staff when it comes down to those second half adjustments.
I agree. But I mean, this has been an amazing college football year, and I expect it to end that way, and I expect TCU to get this win. But with that said, guys, I appreciate you. Appreciate you for this new year, man. Let's go on and wrap this show up. Thank our listeners, Thank y'all all for joining us once again. As I've said before, we do this every week. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and share. And we'll catch you next week, guys. Take care.